Tonight, a not guilty plea from Ottawa councillor Matthew Luloff. As his impaired driving trial gets underway amid witness testimony, erratic driving prompted the call to 911. One man is dead after a fatal fire in Hintonburg.
They started CPR immediately as soon as the victim was brought outside.
Firefighters say they were there within minutes, but the man succumbed to his injuries after the blaze apparently started in a first-floor bedroom. And you can bank on this during an Ottawa winter.
We're probably looking at a 2-week cycle period to remove all the residential and arterial roadways in the downtown area.
The snow will pile up and the cleanup will become a necessary nuisance for drivers. How we're faring after a big snow dump this weekend. Good evening. We begin tonight with the trial for an Ottawa councillor charged with impaired driving more than 18 months ago. Orleans East Cumberland councillor Matthew Luloff pleaded not guilty as the trial got underway this morning at the Ottawa courthouse. CTV's Dylan Dyson was there on the first day and joins us live in studio. Dylan.
Patricia was back on July 6, 2024, when Matthew Luloff was arrested and charged with 1 count of impaired driving and 1 count of having a blood alcohol content over 0.08 2 hours after operating a vehicle. Luloff appeared in court today with his lawyer, Lawrence Greenspan, entering a not guilty plea. A member of the Ottawa police who arrested Luloff that night testified that the city councillor was arrested at his home in Orleans after driving back from Blues Fest. The officer noted he smelled a strong odor of alcohol on Luloff's breath and that Luloff failed the subsequent breathalyzer test before being arrested. The driver who called 911 to report the impaired driving also testified today and says she saw Luloff's Jeep swerving across the road and driving erratically, hitting the curb like a bumper car and almost hitting her. In court today, the female driver said, quote, "It was terrifying the way he was driving," adding, "I could have been dead or paralyzed. His driving scared me." The witness says she then followed Luloff to a Wendy's in Orleans where Luloff's Jeep ordered at the drive-thru, and she then called police. She then followed Luloff's Jeep to his driveway but did not see him get out of the car. Police also testified that they did not see Luloff drive in the Jeep or in the car, but the officer added that the hood of the vehicle was warm. At least 2 other witnesses, another Ottawa police constable and an Ottawa police breath technician, are expected to testify in this case. Patricia.
CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. Thank you. 1 person is dead and 19 people are without a home after a Sunday evening fire in Ottawa's Hintonburg. Now investigators are searching for the cause of the fire. The blaze occurred on the first floor of a 3-story building on Armstrong Street. CTV's Josh Morano joins us live with the latest on this. Josh.
Yeah, Patricia, Ottawa Fire has confirmed that a man in his 70s died after crews say they responded to calls of visible flames from the first floor, and residents in the area say they are still shaken up. This was the scene Sunday night as crews responded to calls for a fire and residents trying to escape this 3-story building in Hintonburg.
I didn't see anything at the time. I think most of it had already been resolved, but I definitely smelled a bit of smoke. They had the fans going at the door, so I think they were airing the place out.
Firefighters arriving within minutes, containing the blaze to a first-floor unit.
They extinguished the fire that was found in a bedroom on the first floor. They then did a search. At the same time, a resident was found inside the bathroom of the same fire unit, unconscious with severe burns.
Ottawa Fire confirming the victim was a man in his 70s who died in hospital. 2 firefighters carried the victim out, where another crew, another truck had set up a medical sector where they were ready. They started CPR immediately as soon as the victim was brought outside. They had oxygen ready and a defibrillator.
The resuscitation was initiated by the firefighter, was taken over by the paramedics who continued resuscitation efforts during his transport to the hospital, where unfortunately he was pronounced deceased later in the evening.
Paramedics say they were called back to the scene an hour later for a male in his 60s who sustained smoke inhalation. He was treated and taken to hospital in stable condition. Officials say the fire was under control in less than 30 minutes and did not spread beyond the 1 unit, but 19 residents have been displaced.
On behalf of the Ottawa Fire Services, we do want to send our condolences to any family or friends that are affected by this incident. And just that this was a very tragic first fire for 2026, and our thoughts are with everybody.
Ottawa police say they're continuing to work alongside fire investigators.
We'll run a parallel investigation, but at this point there's no criminality with regards to the fire. and we're here to assist the Office of the Fire Marshal, fire investigator, as well as our counterparts with the Ottawa Fire Department.
Neighbors seen expressing their condolences and say they're still shaken up.
It's unfortunate to hear that there was a person who passed away from it. That really sucks.
Officials were on scene again today, talking to residents nearby and are urging anyone with information about the incident to contact them as the investigation continues. Patricia.
CTV's Josh Morano live for us tonight. Thank you. You can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on that fatal fire that occurred last evening. Just download the CTV News app by scanning the QR code on your screen, again, using your smartphone. Well, Canadians spent more in the grocery aisles and on eating out in December. The end of the federal government's tax holiday a year ago pushed the annual inflation rate up last month. CTV's Austin Lee is following this story for us tonight. Austin.
Well, Patricia, the annual pace of inflation was 2.4% in December, according to Statistics Canada. The cost of meals in restaurants, that increased by 8.5%, while the cost of food brought home from the grocery store rose by 5%. Frozen beef was up 16.8%, and coffee shot up 30.8%, while the price for potato chips and some other snacks increased by 7.9%. StatsCan says the federal government's move to take the GST off of some items for 2 months in mid-December of 2024, that dropped prices for dining out, alcohol, and some other items for more than a year, or rather more than a year ago. But with the tax holiday now done, those prices rose this year. Some shoppers say the price increases at the checkout have changed their habits, while others say they've been able to stomach it for now.
It's very hard to shop the way we used to shop. We just noticed the beef today. We haven't bought a round roast or a roast of beef in years.
We don't go out to restaurants anymore unless it's just for breakfast once a month.
Yeah.
And people like my brother sometimes bring us groceries.
So how has it changed your habits?
Hasn't.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm eating real regular.
There was some good news for motorists. Gasoline prices, those fell nearly 14% in December compared to December of 2024. StatsCan points to an oversupply of crude oil globally that drove down prices. Now, the December inflation figures were released just over a week before the Bank of Canada is set to make its first interest rate decision of the new year. That comes next week. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. Still ahead, the hottest new Sens jerseys feature the names of players who don't play for the team and have only a fictional connection to Ottawa, where the proceeds are going, coming up. Well, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. -6 out there right now. And Jackie, this looks incredibly calm to me compared to what it looked like this afternoon when I was out and could barely see a thing. There was a bit of a snow squall happening, and I guess we're still looking for maybe some of that activity this evening.
That's right, and you mentioned it. We did see a lot of that blowing snow moving through a couple of hours ago, but the snow squall warning is still in effect for parts of eastern Ontario, including here in Ottawa. We see it has lifted for just west of Smiths Falls, but keep in mind a lot of the weather system is moving through just south of Kingston. So there is a blizzard warning in Picton area where they could still see between 20 to 40 centimeters of snow. That's not the case for us here in Ottawa. Environment Canada now calling for up to 5 centimeters of snow that is moving through. So by tomorrow morning, we are likely going to see more sunshine, more cloud conditions. So clear skies. We may see some flurries late Tuesday evening, but for the most part, it is the colds that we want to talk of and the heavy wind gusts moving through. We could see gusts of up to 50 kilometers per hour moving through into the evening, so that could cause the blowing snow to move through. -15 to start things off, feeling more like -24. We're only getting to a daytime high of about -10 degrees for our Tuesday, but right now temperatures still on the mild side, about -7 really for most of eastern Ontario. We'll have a look at your long-term forecast in just a bit because Patricia, snow will be on the way by Wednesday.
Well, you are looking ahead. We are looking back at the big cleanup that is underway after more than a foot of snow blanketed Ottawa over the past week. The city has begun operations to remove those massive snowbanks as motorists try to navigate the narrow roads. CTV's Dave Charbonneau reports.
For Daniela Colick, winter weather is nothing new.
I don't think snow is pretty much a problem for me.
Colic says compared to where she grew up in snowy Eastern Europe, Ottawa's approach to snow clearing stands out.
I think here you have a system and you are very well organized. But I can say I think you have a budget for it and you have, I think, services that are prepared.
The city says that system is now shifting into high gear as large snowbanks are removed from neighborhood streets.
We're full force into snow removal, night shift and day shift.
But after 40 centimeters of snow over the past week, residents are being asked for patience.
So looking at the snow accumulation we have, the weather upcoming, we're probably looking at a 2-week cycle period to remove all the residential and arterial roadways in the downtown area.
In some tight areas like Sandy Hill, the snowbanks may be frustrating, but most residents understand it takes time.
It's tough because they can't really plow it because people need to park here all the time, but it is what it is.
I would love to see neighbors when they're shoveling to put the snow on their lawn instead of in the street, because a lot of people have street parking only.
While snowbanks can be a nuisance, some neighbors worry they could become a serious problem in an emergency.
If somebody has a heart attack and there's a couple of parked cars, people are legitimately worried about whether emergency vehicles will get through.
And for some, confusion over snow removal signs might be adding to the frustration.
I was in the Beechwood area.
Yeah.
Snowbanks were going to be removed, although from the signage it was unclear if they were being removed yesterday during the day or today during the day.
When you see us put signs out that are yellow for daytime removal on a day, it means that snow is going to be removed the next day. And then when you see the red signs go up that day, it's happening that night. So we're always looking at like a 24-hour moving window when we go through there.
Until the snowbanks are gone, residents are being asked to watch the signs and plan ahead. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Ottawa drivers have been buried in parking tickets during winter weather parking bans so far this winter. More than $1.6 million worth of parking tickets have been issued for violating the ban this season. Bylaw Services says 4,400 and 5 tickets were issued to drivers during the overnight winter weather parking ban last Thursday. The fine is $125 with an early payment option of $105. A total of 15,484 tickets have been issued during the 3 winter weather parking bans so far this winter. The City of Ottawa is implementing mitigation measures on the Bronson Avenue Bridge after a piece of concrete fell onto the Rideau Canal Skateway yesterday. Workers were working along Queen Elizabeth Driveway today. The city says the bridge is safe and there are no concerns with its structural integrity. The area beneath the bridge is closed, but there is space for skating along the skateway under the bridge. Well, a snowmobiler was able to escape the icy water after crashing through the ice on the Rideau River. Ontario Provincial Police say a snowmobile went through the ice of the river near County Road 43 in North Grenville late yesterday afternoon. It's the second time in a week a snowmobile has crashed through the ice of the Rideau. Police are reminding people to avoid traveling on ice where conditions are unknown. Premier Doug Ford is blasting the federal government's deal with China. Speaking on the Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on News Talk 580 CFRA, Ford said the deal to lower tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles will hurt the auto industry and Ottawa's tech sector.
It was an absolute terrible deal for Ontario. We ended up getting nothing except potential job losses in the auto sector that employs over 500,000 people. And right in Ottawa, too, there's auto part manufacturers in Ottawa on the tech side.
The Premier called China the biggest threat to the security of Canada. Ford says he hopes to continue to have a good relationship with the Prime Minister. Ottawa South MPP John Fraser will again be the interim leader of the Ontario Liberal Party. The Liberal caucus has nominated Fraser to be the leader to replace Bonnie Crombie. Crombie resigned last week as Liberal leader after receiving tepid support in a leadership review last fall. The Liberals will announce the details of the leadership race by February 9th. Well, concerns over the future of Greenland are likely to dominate discussions at the World Economic Forum. Prime Minister Mark Carney has arrived in Switzerland for the annual think tank, which officially kicks off tomorrow. Carney will be in Davos, where he will meet with French President Emmanuel Macron before giving speeches aimed at drumming up investments in Canada. He's also expected to meet with business leaders. Sources say President Trump will arrive at the forum on Wednesday to deliver a special address and meet with global business leaders. A senior government source tells CTV News that the federal government is thinking about sending a small contingent of soldiers to participate in NATO training exercises in Greenland. CTV's senior political correspondent, Mike Lecouture, on the balancing act as Trump threatens additional tariffs on other EU countries over this.
The picturesque landscape of Greenland could soon host a handful of Canadian soldiers. The members of our military would participate in training exercises with a number of European allies.
They framed it as a long-planned military exercise.
Canada's former ambassador to NATO says these deployments were originally planned to deter Russian action, but it could have the same effect on President Trump.
Trump is taking it as a message, and perhaps, unspoken, the allies will think of that as a way of changing Trump's risk calculus.
Canada's troop commitment would likely be less than the dozen soldiers Germany is sending to Greenland. Still, there could be blowback for Canada, as U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening tariffs on any ally that sends troops.
Just to show the Americans that, you can't push around a NATO ally and threaten to take over a country against their will.
Now, to minimize the political fallout, some suggest appealing to Trump in a different way.
Try to turn the tables a little bit and say, let's all be in this together when it comes to the defense of the Arctic in North America, rather than make it appear as if somehow we're marshalling a force to defend Greenland from the Americans.
NBC News is also reporting Trump is complaining to aides about Canada's vulnerability in the Arctic. That's despite Canada already committing $6 billion to an over-the-horizon radar system for the far north.
We have to do more in our Arctic, but we also have to be kind of calm. More important thing is to work with our Arctic allies to deter and to get ready for any threat.
But the source of that threat in a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape depends on where you are in the world. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Sri Lankan brother and father of an Ottawa man whose wife and 4 children were killed in Barrhaven nearly 2 years ago have received permanent residency status. Danushka Vikraman Singh's family came to Canada after the March 2024 murders to support him, and last year asked the federal government for help as they faced immigration challenges. An immigration lawyer tells the Canadian press both the brother and father had their applications approved. Vikram Singh's wife, 4 children, and a family friend were killed in a Barrhaven townhouse. Fabrio de Zoysa pleaded guilty last year and was sentenced to life in prison. There will be layoffs at 2 federal museums in Ottawa as part of the federal government's plans to reduce the size of the public service. Officials confirm the Canadian War Museum and the Canadian Museum of History are implementing staffing reductions due to the comprehensive expenditure review and to cover its own structural deficit. The museums wouldn't say how many jobs will be cut. The Canadian Museum of Nature said there would be no layoffs at its museum. Several federal departments have issued layoff notices to public servants back in December and again in January as the government looks to cut 28,000 more jobs over the next 4 years.
All of the technology and innovation that goes in this new hospital has to be funded by the hospital. That's where philanthropy comes into play.
Coming up, construction and fundraising efforts continue to build Ottawa's new hospital. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. Overnight conditions will start to get much chillier. -15 is what we're anticipating. The chance of flurries will carry us through into the early hours of tomorrow morning. But here's the deal. We've got wind gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour that could be causing some blowing snow. So the reduced visibility on the roads is a factor. Tomorrow's daytime high about -10. Mainly sunny skies is what we're anticipating, but the winds will carry us for most of our Tuesday. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, where we don't quite see flurries here in downtown Ottawa quite yet, but the winds are starting to pick up noticeably. -6 is the current temperature, but with that wind chill feeling closer to -15.
Today's Snow Report brought to you by Centre Volage. Rediscover the new Volage.
And here is today's snow report at Volage. A couple of centimeters of new snow. Good solid base now. All 4 lifts are operating and 15 runs are open. As we take a look elsewhere in our region at Camp Fortune, 4 of 7 lifts and 16 runs, 4 of 5 lifts at Edelweiss. 12 runs are open to skiers and snowboarders. At Mont Cascade, 4 lifts operating. Almost all of their runs are up and going. And at Kelaboogie Peaks, it's 3 of 3 and 15 runs out of the 26.
Hi, I'm Andre here at Centre Volage.
I invite you to come enjoy our 24 trails, including alpine touring, snowshoeing, and fat biking. Centre Volage, Wakefield's Playground.
Well, we still don't know how much the new civic campus of the Ottawa Hospital will cost or when it will open. It also isn't clear if Ottawa taxpayers will be asked to contribute $150 million. But as CTV's Leah Larocque reports, the foundation has hit nearly 80% of its lofty goal.
Gary Grace admits the City of Ottawa needs a new hospital.
I'm visiting my wife, and the staff are fantastic. Everything's great. The building is really showing its age.
Crews continuing to work on the new Ottawa Hospital Civic Campus near Dow's Lake. The original price tag was expected to be $2.8 billion, with the new hospital opening in 2029. But now the design of the hospital, the cost, and the construction timeline isn't finalized. And it also isn't clear if the City of Ottawa will contribute $150 million in taxpayers' money, which was originally proposed in 2022.
Those discussions are ongoing with the city and what role the city will play.
That's it. Up here, Chris. Get ahead.
But the Ottawa Hospital Foundation is on track to meet its $500 million fundraising goal for the new campus. It's already at $396 million.
There are elements of this new hospital that the government doesn't fund, specifically all of the equipment, all of the technology and innovation that goes in this new hospital has to be funded by the hospital. That's where philanthropy comes into play.
The parking garage will be the first part that will open hopefully by the spring. And when construction ramps up on the new site behind me, that's where the public as well as hundreds of construction workers will be able to park. The foundation says this will be a critical year with major fundraisers like Ottawa Race Weekend and the President's Breakfast.
You think of how the economy in the last number of years has been up and down as well, our current situation in Canada today, but people continue to be generous throughout all of that.
While the cost of the new hospital is high, many believe it will be worth it.
I actually work at the hospital, so this is going to be my new home someday.
Leah Larocque, CTV News.
Well, as you can see there in Leah's story, another snowy day in Ottawa with cold temperatures set to grip the capital over the next 2 nights. People were bundled up for a walk along the Rideau Canal or a skate along the skateway. Today, we do still have a snow squall warning in effect for Ottawa, but I think it's looking less and less likely, Jackie, that we're going to see conditions that are too drastic this evening.
Yes, that's right, Patricia. And just from the 5 o'clock to now, we have seen that for parts of the region, it has started to lift as well. So we anticipate that in the next couple of hours, it could also be lifting here in Ottawa. But it is still in effect, keeping in mind that much of the weather system was really moving through just south of Kingston. Right now, it's about -7. We saw a daytime high of about -5. This is still in effect as well because of the blowing snow. We've got wind gusts up to 50 kilometers per hour that could affect visibility on the roads. It is anticipated to clear by the time we get to midnight, and then by tomorrow morning, lots of sunshine is in store. A little bit of cloud cover as we make our way into the afternoon. Taking a look in conditions, not just here in Ottawa, that it's going to be chilly. -15 the overnight lows, but -13 in Cornwall, -12 in Kingston, -21 in Pembroke, as well as Petawawa. And that's not factoring the wind chill values either. It is going to start to get much colder as we roll out throughout the next several days. Tomorrow's daytime highs similar to what we saw today, -10 here in the capital, -8 in Kingston, about -10 in the valleys, and Montreal also sitting around -10. So parts of the area could see some flurries. For the main part, we will likely see sunshine throughout. In Atlantic Canada, temperatures are sitting close to the freezing mark between -4, -5. Start to notice here in Thunder Bay as well as Timmins, temperatures are already in -21, -24 degrees. That's going to start to push its way down here to Eastern Ontario as well as Southern Ontario. But for the most part, it is staying in the prairies as well as Northern Ontario. So -19 in Winnipeg, sunshine, Regina sitting around -15. And then it starts to warm up when you look to our friends in Alberta, -5 in Edmonton, 3 degrees in Calgary with lots of sunshine, and Vancouver also sitting with lots of sunshine and temperature at 8 degrees. We will not be seeing that anytime soon. But here, I'm liking the sunshine. It is Wednesday, though. We want to keep an eye out for By the afternoon, we are going to anticipate between 5 to 10 centimeters really moving through, especially in Brockville, especially in Ottawa. So we are keeping an eye. If you haven't started to clear that snow yet, you want to do so before Wednesday afternoon. Taking a look at our temperatures, this 7-day forecast brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. -10 is our daytime high for Tuesday, -9 for Wednesday, with the 5 to 10 centimeters of snow anticipated. Really Friday overnight into Saturday overnight. The overnight lows, Patricia, are going to be -27, -28. And for the most part, I'm usually like, ugh, I'm not going to like this. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be super cold. But with Winterlude coming up next Friday, these conditions are looking pretty positive for the festival here in the capital.
No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the attempt at positivity. A good weekend to stay inside, get some stuff done, enjoy the sun shining through the window, maybe.
And prepare for 3 weeks of Winterlude.
That's a lot. That's ski pant weather when you're going out in the car. Thanks, Jackie.
Even when they've been in my next door neighbors, it hasn't bothered me.
Well, coming up, a murder of crows. It's not a play. It's the talk of Alta Vista this winter. Is there anything the city can do?
Tonight, Canada's high-stakes balancing act.
Try to turn the tables a little bit and say, let's all be in this together when it comes to the defense of the Arctic.
The potential risks of sending troops to Greenland. Later on CTV National News and to watch on Crave.
CTV News community and weather anchor Jackie Perez. Weeknights.
Well, are you feeling down today? Today has been labeled Blue Monday, often considered the saddest day of the year. However, experts say it's all about realigning how we think about things. CTV's Camille Wilson reports.
Mark Gravelin finds the joys in every winter day.
This little girl keeps me busy with 6 walks a day, so no time to be blue.
Gravelin says he didn't even know Blue Monday was a thing. He always keeps himself active.
I'm retired, so I get to do whatever I want to do. Do a lot of indoor cycling. That keeps me pretty busy. Got a bunch of little projects that I like doing for fun.
Blue Monday, the third Monday of January, originated 20 years ago as a marketing campaign for a British travel company. But experts say January can be depressing for some.
There's something about this time of year, the winter doldrums. It's just the light is less, the warmth is less, the ability to connect with people is less. So there does seem to be a lot less. There's the Christmas bills are coming, there's less money, there seems just to be less, or a lack of things.
Experts say it's the little things to keep you uplifted during the winter blues, keeping busy, getting outside for about 20 to 30 minutes a day, and wearing bright dopamine colors.
Connecting with people, is very important, and you can do that even if you can't get outside, You can do it virtually.
And finding ways to stay positive during the winter.
Dancing, painting, talking with friends, the occasional glass of wine, those kinds of things.
Seasonal affective disorder is a real thing, experts say, and affects 2 to 3% of the population.
We're doing an event for our staff, volunteers, and physicians where we're sharing messages of gratitude towards one another. So we're looking to improve people's physical, mental, and emotional well-being through sharing messages of positivity and thanks.
Creating little moments for anticipation to look forward to, like Gravelin escaping to the warmer weather.
When it becomes a little much, I take off to Spain for a couple of weeks. February 8th. It's on my calendar, and I'm counting down. I always have something on my schedule, on my calendar that I look forward to, and so it breaks the monotony. It looks something like you're looking forward to something.
Camille Wilson, CTV News.
Well, it's a red-hot series for both television fans and hockey fans alike. And now those who love heated rivalry can get their very own Ottawa Senators jersey inspired by the show. CTV's Kimberly Johnson has that story.
Jenny Asselin is an Ottawa Senators fan and a heated rivalry fan. She was caught off guard when the worlds collided at the Canadian Tire Centre.
Going to buy a commemorative puck, and sure enough, there's a Hollander and a Rosenhoff jersey right there waiting for me. It was just serendipity, really.
The Senators have released heated rivalry-inspired Sens jerseys. Fans of the series can now buy Senators jerseys with the names Hollander and Rosenhoff on the back. The popular Crave original series is a love story about pro hockey players Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov, who are on rival teams.
We had the idea on Friday morning, and we had a whole bunch of jerseys in the store by Saturday night at our game, and sold out within probably an hour before the first period was over.
Peter Shire with the Senators says the store was getting requests for the specialized jerseys from heated rivalry fans. So they had some made up ahead of Saturday's game against Montreal. He says online sales are also popular.
We woke up on Sunday morning. We had orders from, I think, Germany, Sweden, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Sweden, from all over the world. So it really, it's great.
In all, he says about 50 jerseys have already been sold, and proceeds will be going towards Ottawa Pride hockey.
Heated Rivalry has been a really fun topic of conversation lately. I feel it's been taking over conversations in the locker room, and it's a great, wholesome show.
Ottawa Pride hockey is an inclusive hockey recreation league for the queer community, and with about 200 regular players, the league's co-coordinator says the goal is to make sure everyone sees themselves on the ice and on a hockey jersey.
So important to be able to see yourself as a kid, even as an adult now, just like, okay, I am welcome here.
And with the city of Ottawa set to play a possible role in the upcoming season 2 of Heated Rivalry, now fans can have the best of both worlds.
A fun little thing to see the Sens sort of embrace.
Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
In tonight's big picture, are you sick of the snow and cold? Well, it doesn't matter to this guy. The team at Cochrane's Ontario Polar Bear Habitat shared this magic moment. Henry the polar bear playing with a pumpkin in the snow. The Habitat pumpkins can be both food and fun. Now, some other stories you need to know right now. The Ottawa Senators had a rough weekend working overtime.
Detroit up ahead for Coun. To DeBrincat. Moves it and shoots.
Former Sens forward Alex DeBrincat with the winner as the Detroit Red Wings beat the Senators 4-3 in overtime. Sens lost both games this weekend in OT, falling to Montreal on Saturday. Ottawa continues its 3-game road trip tomorrow night in Columbus. The Ottawa Charge will have a new look for their next game tomorrow night in New York. The Charge and Vancouver Golden Knights completing a 6-player trade last night. The Charge acquired forwards Michaela Cava and Brooke McQuiggy and defender Emma Greco from the Golden Knights in exchange for forwards Manna McMahon, Anna Meixner, and Anna Shokina. Ottawa Police and the Royal are launching a new mobile crisis response team starting this spring. The team will deliver immediate specialized support to individuals experiencing mental illness or substance use crises in the community. A clinical mental health professional from the Royal will be teamed with police officers to respond to calls.
It's a big building, and it's the configuration of it is what excited me the most because it's really unusual and it'll stand out.
A 28-story high-rise building could be built next to the Alexander Fleck House in Ottawa's Centretown neighbourhood. The city has received an application to build a 326-unit building at the corner of Bronson and Laurier Avenues. Councillor Ariel Troster says there will be public consultations this winter before the planning committee votes on the plan in March.
Even when they've been in my next-door neighbors, it hasn't bothered me.
A murder of crows is the talk of Alta Vista this winter. Residents say thousands of crows have been spotted in the trees on residential streets through December and January. According to Environment Canada, crows roost in winter for warmth and safety, and residential neighbourhoods offer tall trees, fewer predators, and easy access to food. Councillor Marty Carr says the city has no plans to deter the crows from hanging out in the trees.
We've already seen almost $50,000 in counterfeit money that's been turned in.
Well, coming up, phony bills circulating in Canada's largest city spark a warning to shoppers and visitors.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, taking a look at the roads on your Monday evening, things are moving pretty well out there. We have contended with that snow squall warning, and off and on through the day it's been bad, but right now visibility looking pretty good on the major roadways in Ottawa. Well, a warning tonight if you're traveling to the Toronto area to be on the lookout for counterfeit bills circulating in the city. Police say criminals have produced fake 20s and 50s, but now more fake $100 bills are also ending up in circulation. CTV's Pat Foran reports.
Trailers Ontario has 4 locations in the province selling cargo trailers for various applications. A customer recently bought one at their Mississauga site and paid for it in part with counterfeit money.
When did you find out that the cash was counterfeit?
First thing Monday morning.
Owner Nadir Virgie says the customer wanted to pay for the trailer in cash.
A customer came to us last week, purchased a trailer for $12,200, and he ended up slipping in $6,200 in counterfeit money.
Frustrated he'd been scammed out of $6,200, Virgie called Peel Police. They're continuing to investigate, but the man who handed over the cash was not arrested. As he said, he got the fake $100 bills from someone else when he sold a trailer.
The police told me that it is a civil matter since he paid half in legitimate currency and half in fake currency.
To avoid counterfeit money scams, avoid large cash transactions if possible. If a cash payment is required, complete the transaction at a financial institution. Do not accept money you believe may be counterfeit, and do not attempt to use counterfeit currency as it's a criminal offense.
They seem to be a bit on the rise right now, especially with, as is always the case, the larger denominations, the $100 bills.
Toronto police say they've noticed a huge increase in fake bills since the beginning of the year.
We've already seen almost $50,000 in counterfeit money that's been turned in and that's been reported to us.
Feel, look, and flip.
For more information on spotting counterfeit notes, you can check the Bank of Canada's website.
Tilt the note to make sure the metallic portrait and building change colors.
As for Virgie, he's frustrated he may have to go to small claims court to get his money back. He says his company is now taking more steps to try and spot counterfeit currency.
We did purchase money counters right now for all our locations, and I've told my entire team to double check every bill.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Inflation hit 2.4% in December following a year-over-year increase. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more on what led to that hike in prices.
At the end of 2024, the federal government gave Canadians a break from paying the GST. Fast forward to a year later, and that's why Canadians are paying 8.5% more for meals at restaurants, while alcoholic beverages rose 6.5%. Toys and games are up 7.5%, and kids' clothing 4.8%. At the grocery store, coffee cost almost 31% more year over year. Beef, fresh or frozen, was up almost 17%. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.11. West Texas Intermediate is up to 59.43. Western Canadian Select is up to 45.16. And the TSX gained 50 points for another record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
It was really scary for me, but I mean, as you can see, he's grown up to be an amazing little boy.
Well, coming up, a dream come true for a young Leafs fan as part of the Make-A-Wish program. A dream come true for a young Leafs fan, part of the Make-A-Wish program. 10-year-old Liam got to present his hockey hero, Austin Matthews, with a special gift, one that he designed himself. CTV's Rahim Ladani has the story.
This is the moment Liam has been working towards for over a year, hanging out with his hockey idol, Toronto Maple Leafs captain Austin Matthews.
I was very excited and happy to meet him for a second time.
I know he's been dreaming of this moment for a really long time. Austin Matthews is incredible. It's his hero.
You see, Liam loves hockey. He gets on the ice whenever he can, though it's sometimes challenging living with cystic fibrosis. He was first diagnosed with the respiratory disorder at 3 weeks old.
At the time, we had no clue that we were carriers of it. So it was really scary for me. But I mean, as you can see, he's grown up to be an amazing little boy.
And Dina's amazing 10-year-old is also selfless. And this is where Make-A-Wish Canada comes in. Known for creating life-changing wishes for children diagnosed with critical illnesses, the organization asked Liam what he wants. But instead of a vacation or a new toy, Liam wished for the chance to design custom skates and stick for the Leafs captain.
It just reminded me of Austin Matthews, and I wanted to be like him one day.
His heart is so full. He would literally give you the shirt off his back. So it doesn't surprise me that he wanted to do something special for his hero, Austin.
With the help of a custom designer from Calgary, Liam drew some of Matthews' favorite things.
The Toronto Maple Leafs, Austin Matthews' dog, and Carlton the bear.
I was supposed to use them as inspiration. When I saw the drawings, I was like, I'm just going to reproduce the exact drawing, and that's what's going to go on the skate.
After Liam gifted Austin Matthews with the custom pair of skates and stick, Liam was then surprised with a replica version of both just for him. And these skates are also signed by Matthews himself. Is there anything he said to you that was really special?
Yeah. He'll try to get as much goals as he can possibly for me.
And as Matthews tries to follow through on his promise, he'll be keeping Liam's favorite saying in mind.
Never give up.
Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
Well, final preparations are underway for NASA's first crewed mission to the moon in more than 50 years. We have time-lapse video showing the NASA rolling the SLS rocket from the vehicle assembly building to the launch pad in Cape Canaveral, Florida. The crew, which will include Canadian Jeremy Hansen, is scheduled for a 10-day mission around the moon. The earliest the liftoff could happen is February 6th.
We see the light of a clear blue morning.
Well, coming up, Dolly Parton is helping you celebrate her birthday. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. Good news on the snow squall warning front. It has lifted for here in Ottawa, parts of Ontario. It is still in effect, especially for Cornwall and Hawkesbury, but we are anticipating this to lift in the next few hours. Taking a look, though, at the conditions, lots of sunshine in store for our Tuesday morning and the Tuesday commute. Here is a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, where no flurries in sight, but it's still in the forecast for late this evening. Current temperature cooling to -7.
Well, tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, we tackle ways to slash those grocery bills with some coupon strategies. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6 a.m. We'll see you then.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Well, here's what's on CTV on your Monday night. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, and then 911 times 3. Here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now. Ottawa councillor Matthew Luloff pleads not guilty to impaired driving charges on the first day of his trial at the Ottawa courthouse. The Orleans councillor was charged back in July 2024.
They started CPR immediately as soon as the victim was brought outside. They had oxygen ready and a defibrillator.
A man in his 70s is dead after a fire in an apartment building in Ottawa's Hintonburg neighborhood Sunday evening. 19 people have been displaced as a result of the fire. And with more snow on the way, the City of Ottawa has started work to remove the giant snowbanks from streets in neighborhoods. It's expected to take 2 weeks to get rid of all that snow. As we take one more look at the weather, we have cold temperatures and we have some snow in there for this week.
Yes,
Jackie?
The good news is for tomorrow, we are anticipating clearer conditions, much clearer than we saw today. But the temperatures, wow, -15 to kick things off, gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour. And it's going to be mainly sunny skies. We're only warming up to about -10. Wednesday, even Thursday, will be pretty decent in terms of temperature. Wednesday, though, we are anticipating an additional 5 to 10 centimeters of snow that will carry us into our Thursday. Not quite looking forward to the weekend, though, where temperatures will be at -27, -28 for those overnights.
No, not quite looking forward to that. Got to do what we got to do. We want to check in to see what our news team will be working on tonight. Austin Lee is on the desk at 11:30.
Thanks, Patricia. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on OC Transpo. Bus service remains a real point of frustration for riders, and there is a meeting tonight in the Glebe with some community activists that are calling for free transit here in the city. The group Free Transit Ottawa is holding a launch party tonight, and CTV's Sean Varden will be there for that event. He will have More on that later tonight. Of course, you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnews.ca. And join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
All right, good stuff. Will do. Thank you. Finally, for us tonight, this is incredible. Dolly Parton celebrating her 80th birthday, and she's doing it with a gift for her fans.
You see the light of a clear blue morning.
Cannot believe she is 80. Parton releasing a new version of her 1977 single, Light of a Clear Blue Morning, on social media. It features fellow singers Lainey Wilson, Queen Latifah, Reba McEntire, Miley Cyrus, along with famed composer David Foster on piano. Proceeds from the song will benefit pediatric cancer research at a children's hospital in Nashville. All kinds of energy still. And a pretty close relationship with Miley Cyrus, of course.
Yes, her godmother is what I recall. But it's nice to see everyone coming together for Dolly's 80th. Very busy at the age that she is, so congratulations.
She looks like she might still be performing at 100.
She looks good.
That's what I'm feeling.
She looks really good.
She looks great.
Good for her.
Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.